And welcome along and welcome to this spotlight on the Grimme Pack DLC. This is a DLC created by Team FSI Modding. They were one of two winners of the Farming Simulator mod contest who got to make their own DLC pack. The other, of course, was MatXJS back in FS17 with the Modern Classics. So this has been several years in the making, what, 2-3 years in the making, and their thing was always going to be to focus on potatoes. They pitched a potato DLC, and I must say I am really pleased to see the potatoes getting some love in Farming Simulator 19. This is a gorgeous pack. There is a whole load of equipment here that is just absolutely brilliant. If you are a potato enthusiast in Farming Simulator, there's everything from belts to transport trailers or to trailers to harvesting equipment to seeding equipment to some really interesting weeders. First time I saw all these weeders, I thought that they were cultivators, but no, they are specialist potato weeders, which is pretty cool. So if you are a fan of doing potatoes in Farm Sim, or just want to see potatoes get a little bit more love in Farm Sim, as I do, then this is a cracking pack. What we're going to do is we're going to go through this pack from this side round to the other side. We'll go through each of these pieces of equipment, and then I've got a couple of fields here set up. You can probably see in the distance we've got some machinery. I want to go through a couple of the pieces of machinery because I really quite like this DLC. So we're going to start off with this piece of kit first. This is the Grimme GH2. It costs 7,000, has a 54 horsepower working requirement, has a 1.5 meter working width, has a 9 mile an hour working speed. Suggested is to have an AGCO 650 weight on the front, and yeah, it is a weeder. It has only one configuration change, and that is to add a roller on the back. This is for, in real life, this is for ensuring that the rows are piled properly for the potatoes, and you can see on this how this is a specialist potato weeder with the potato rows going in between the weeders, and it all working to get rid of those weeds between the rows and clean it out. It's an extra 720 for the roller. So the maximum configuration of this GH2 is 7,000 plus 720, so it's 7,720. Next up is the Grimme GH4. Like the previous one, you will find this under weeders, and the GH4 costs 12,000. Has a 74 horsepower working requirement, a 2.5 meter working width, a 9 mile an hour working speed, and again recommended is the AGCO 650 weight. Like the GH2, this also has just a single configuration option, that of the roller. You can see the extra width that this is now available in this. And that adds another 950 to the base price of 12,000, taking the maximum cost of this up to 12,950. The third and final weeder that comes in this pack is the Grimme GH8. Again, found under weeders. The GH8 has a base price of 19,000, has a 140 horsepower requirement, a 6 meter working width, 9 mile an hour working speed again, and like its two smaller brothers, also has a suggested weight of the AGCO 650 on the front of your tractor. Unlike its two brothers, though, this one does not have any options at all because it has those rather big row. Yeah, I suppose there'd be row makers or row maintainers on the back. So yeah, no configuration on this. So the 19,000, that is the price that you will pay for this. We move on to the first of our two seeders next. This is the Grimme GL32E. You will find this under potato technology, and this has a price of 10,800. It has a 60 horsepower work requirement, holds 500 litres of seed, has a 1.5 meter working width, has a 6 mile/hour working speed. Again, the AGCO 650 weight is recommended for the front of your tractor. It takes seeds or potatoes, and it only plants potatoes. It can only be used on pre-prepared surfaces, so it's not a direct seeder. No options on this, so the base price of 10,800 is the price you will pay to use it. The second seeder is the Grimme GL32F. Now that is also found under potato technology, and that has a price of 18,800. 60 horsepower work requirement, 800 litre capacity for seeds and fertilizer, 1.5 meter working width, 6 mile/hour working speed. The AGCO 1100 weight is recommended for the front of your tractor for it. And yeah, as I said, it takes potatoes, seeds and solid fertilizer, and plants only potatoes. It does have a configuration on this, which I'm not sure this makes any difference, this configuration, because this is a potato planter. But you can either have standard, or you can have it with the planter configuration that seems to create the hills or the rows for the potatoes. So yeah, I think I will probably use this in this configuration, simply because I think it's a little bit more realistic to have it with these shaping items on the back. If you haven't already gone through and had a machine create those rows for your potatoes already. 450 is the extra price for that, and that takes your 18,800 base price up by 450 to 19,250. This brings us on to the first of our harvesters, the Grimme WH200 Eco. Now these work by windrowing up the potatoes, so they harvest them and then windrow them up behind. All three of these first three harvesters, and then you come behind with this Grimme SE8555 and collect them up, which we will get to in a moment. But yeah, these are all nice small horsepower requirements, and we'll go through them now. But yeah, the Grimme WH200 Eco, that can also be found in potato technology, and that has a price of 11,900. 68 horsepower working requirement, 1.5 meter working width, 4 mile/hour working speed. AGCO 650 weight makes an appearance again as the recommended weight, and this only harvests potatoes, as you would expect. No options on this. It is just a very simple harvester. Does exactly what it says on the tin. I love about this is it's only a 68 horsepower requirement and is not an expensive piece of equipment at 11,900. Great if you want to have a nice cheap harvester to get you going on your potatoes. The second potato harvester is the Grimme WH200 S. That similarly is found in potato technology, and that has a base price of 12,500. 72 horsepower power requirement this time. Still with the 1.5 meter working width, 4 mile/hour working speed. AGCO 650 weight is again recommended. Again, it only harvests potatoes. And this does have a really interesting option as far as I can see. It looks like, yeah, it looks like this has either left or right dropping, and there is a big change to the configuration to this. So it's not something that could be done while the piece of equipment is running, you need to select this before you harvest. So it maybe if you want to drop your potato swaths to the side, this is a great piece of equipment. It's a modification actually of the previous one, of the Eco, but it's a nice little potato harvester. It has no extra cost for these configuration changes, so the base price of 12,500 is the price that you will pay for this piece of kit. The final windrowing harvester that we have in this pack is the Grimme WH200 CW. It is I really like this. This is my piece of equipment of choice, my row of choice from this pack. Really nice. It does 2 rows very nicely. I think in fact all of these probably do 2 rows, but it's just a really nice piece of kit, this. Again, you will find this under potato technology, and this has a price of 16,500. 150 horsepower requirement, as you'd expect for a larger machine, or the largest machine out of this group. 1.5 meter working width, so yes, all 3 of these take 2 rows of potatoes. 9 mile an hour working speed. AGCO 650 weight again is the recommended weight, and it harvests potatoes. It has no options, this, so the base price of 16,500 is what you will pay for it. Which brings us nicely on to the final piece of harvesting equipment included in this DLC. This is the Grimme SE8555. It is also found under potato technology, and it has a price of 88,500. So this is the expensive bit. You need this in order to pick the rows up from these. So if you're looking at potatoes, you're looking at about, well, 100,000 ish, just over, depending on which of these rows you pick up. This has 90 horsepower power requirement, holds 6,800 litres of potatoes, has a 0.9 metre working width, has a 6 mile an hour working speed, and harvests potatoes, obviously. Does have a rather nice bit of configuration, this, which I really like. It adds on a canopy. So, for if you had any people doing potato riddling on here as you went, you could protect them rather nicely with the canopy on this. That does add 1,200 to this, taking your 88,500 base price up to 89,700. But I think it looks really, really nice in this configuration. Next up is the first of our 2 trailers. This is the Grimme MultiTrailer 350. This is the larger of the 2 potato trailers that comes in this pack, and this can be found under trailers in the shop menu. It's a 40,500 cost, 35,000 litres it will take, and it won't just take potatoes. This will take pretty much everything, this trailer. Several configuration options on it. You've got a wheel brand choice between Trelleborg and Michelin, and those wheel brands also have wide tyres and standard. So same with the Michelins. Just looking at which is the more expensive one of those. Looks like the Michelins are. So we'll set to that. Design is either the Grimme Red or the Grimme White, which is pretty cool. I like that very much. And the cover is an option as well, and you get this rather nice striped red and white cover. All of these configuration options will add a total of 8,100 to the cost of your trailer at its most expensive, taking it up to 48,600 for this. The second trailer included in this is the MultiTrailer 350's smaller brother, the MultiTrailer 190, and this again is found under trailers, and this has a price of 32,600. Again, takes everything. and will carry 19,000 litres of it. And has similar options to the Big Brother. Trelleborg wheels, it only has the wide tyre option. Michelin's, again, only the wide tyre option in both cases. Grimme Red or Grimme White, again, in the design colours. And the cover is either yes or no. Again, giving you this nice striped colour. Maximum cost of the optional extras is 3,550, taking your 32,600 base price up to 36,150. The final set of equipment in this DLC is a set of conveyor belts, especially for doing potatoes. The first of these we've got is the Grimme GBF. This is found, unsurprisingly, under belt systems, and this has a price of 6,500. It is suggested to work with the Grimme conveyor loader, which we will get to later on. That's this end one here. And this has no configuration options to it at all. So the base price of 6,500, that is the price that you will pay for this nice conveyor belt system. It does have, I spent a little while trying to work out how you transport this, and you can see you've got the 2 red blocks under here. So this will require a set of pallet forks in order to move it about, but I think it's a nice piece of equipment, this. The second belt system included is the only non-Grimme piece of equipment in this set. This is the Lizard conveyor loader, and again is found under belt systems. It has a price of 1,500. It has a 3 mile/hour working speed, and I'm guessing that's the speed of the conveyor and how quickly it is able to move stuff along, because obviously this has no wheels. It has a 3,500 litre capacity, recommended to go with the GBF 5500, which I'm guessing is that. And has a and takes potatoes only. Then having a look in here, it does have a couple of options, and you may have seen it in a few places with the yellow belt. So it has a yellow belt that then fits with other pieces of kit quite nicely, and that costs nothing to change the color of the belt. Total price is still at 1,500, and yeah, it's a great little conveyor to get your potatoes offloaded. And the final bit of kit in this DLC is the Gorima PS511. This is a conveyor belt that allows you to pick up potatoes off the ground. There's no connector to transport this, so I think you have to get this onto a low loader to get it back to your farm. I've not found any way of connecting it up to a trailer at all. No way to unfold it or anything. You will find this under belt systems in the shop, and this has a price of 38,000. 9 mile/hour speed. Again, I think that may be its ground speed, which is quite fast for a transporting baler. No restrictions on any of picking up anything or anything like that. No options on it either. 38,000 is the price you'll pay for it. It's rather a neat piece of kit. I really quite like this, and does make it a little more realistic for me for picking stuff off the ground with a belt system. Really liking this bit of kit. So there we go. There is an overview of the pack. I want to show you guys a couple of bits of equipment in use. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over and try out this, the GL32F. I've hooked it up to a New Holland T6175 here, and we've got it loaded up with potatoes and fertilizer. I just want to show you how this plants. So this did confuse me a little bit. then I think you don't turn this on. I think you just lower this in. And if you look at it here, yeah, that's exactly what you do. So this doesn't turn on. This is all friction powered, which is actually brilliant. I love that feature of this. Yeah, don't get confused like I did. It doesn't turn on. It doesn't actually even bring the potato back section up as the other base game seeders do. Yeah, you just put it down into the ground and it works. Bit like planting the poplars and planting trees in Farming Simulator 19. Yeah, you just bring it along, put it down, and away you go, and away it plants. Really quite cool piece of equipment this, and you can see what I was saying about the rows on the back. For me, when it's creating these rows, creating these potato humps, I think it makes more sense for it to have those on the back than if we were doing it than if we were just doing it without them. It just seems a little bit more realistic to me. The second piece of kit I want to demonstrate, we've got a T6175 again here, is the WH200 CDW is what the website says. It's got CDV on the back of here. So I'm just going to pop into the potato technology and double check what it's listed as in here, because somewhere, yeah, it is the CDW. So the only thing I've got on this DLC that I can notice so far, as even a minor issue, because this whole thing is absolutely gorgeous, is that the piece of equipment has the wrong lettering on it. But otherwise, this is absolutely brilliant. So this does start up, and you want to take 2 rows at a time. So drop it down and take 2 rows in front of us, and you can see here how it comes through and it just drops the potatoes out the back really nicely, ready for you to pick up and collect. But what a great piece of kit as far as making potatoes very, very simple in game. I mean, this travels, we can see this is going at 9 miles an hour to do this. And what I would possibly recommend in a single player game is getting a hired worker to be doing this job. You can just send it along with getting these potatoes nicely collected up, and then you can follow behind with the harvester and collect up these windrows at the other end. That brings us on to the second half of our kit for harvesting potatoes. This, of course, is the Grimme SE8555. Absolutely beautiful piece of kit. With the brushes here that picks up the potatoes from the rows we've just created. We've got a much smaller piece of equipment on this, on the front of this though. A T5120. So this requires a lot less power. So you don't need particularly powerful tractors in order to do this. You just, yeah, 175 horsepower, I think, is the most powerful tractor we've used today. So if you like smaller farming equipment and you're looking to do potatoes on a smaller farm with less expense, this DLC is absolutely brilliant for that. So let's jump in our tractor here. Start it up, lower our pickup down, and away we go. And yeah, look at that. Love the animation of those brushes picking the potatoes up off the ground. Really, really lovely piece of kit, this. Absolutely gorgeous. And just looking at the whole thing working together. And I didn't put the canopy on this for this demonstration because I wanted to make it easy for you guys to see all of this animation working in the inside. Really, really, wow, so efficient and working so, so well. I love this DLC. This DLC adds so much to the potatoes in FS19. Makes them much more accessible to use and yeah, it just works really, really well. I love it. I absolutely love it. Team FSI have done a cracking job with bringing potatoes to the earlier part of the game, and yeah, we're full. We got 6,800 litres in here. Absolutely brilliant. This is a job you won't be able to put a hired worker on. So as I was saying before, put the hired worker on this. Let the hired worker create your rows for you, because you'll get some nice straight rows out of that, and then you can follow up behind with your with this harvester and pick them up, and that will work really, really nicely. So there we go. That is the Grimme Pack DLC for Farming Simulator 19. I highly recommend this. For £5, this is, well, for I think it's €4.99 or $4.99. This is absolutely brilliant. The detailing and the modeling is gorgeous. The functionality of it is great. This is, if you like doing potatoes or want to do more potatoes in Farming Simulator 19, I really recommend it. It is a cracking DLC. Go check it out. There is a link in the description of how you can buy this directly from Giants Software using my Giants partner link, and support the channel as well. So please use that if you are going to go and buy this. For now though, yeah, I love this. I think you should check it out. It is absolutely brilliant. And that is where I'm going to leave this video. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this spotlight. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.